I'm going to make a bold statement right here in this episode. I believe that Lamar Jackson is going to repeat as NFL MVP during the 2020 NFL season. That's right, I said it. I believe Lamar Jackson is going to win back-to-back NFL MVPs. Now, I understand that that is a very tall task, and history is against that statement that I just made. And a couple months ago, I made an episode in which I gave out my MVP candidates. I actually had Lamar Jackson at number 2 on my list for MVP candidates this year. And I had Russell Wilson number 1. Now, I still think Russell Wilson has a very good chance to win the NFL MVP this year because I do believe Seattle will win their division over San Francisco and over the Arizona Cardinals. I believe in Seattle as a football team. I believe they are a Super Bowl caliber team. And Russell Wilson, he's got DK Metcalf to throw to. He's got Tyler Lockett to throw to. He's got Greg Olsen now. He's got Will Disley. He's got very good running backs. And last year, Russell Wilson was the second best quarterback in the regular season to one Lamar Jackson, okay? Russell Wilson last year had a 66% completion percentage, 110 yards, 31 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, and a 106 pass rating. So Russell Wilson, he's amazing. And I believe that Russell Wilson, as of right now, is the third best player in the NFL behind Aaron Donald and Patrick Mahomes. So Russell Wilson, I won't be shocked if he wins the award. You know, there's obviously Patrick Mahomes, who's going to be up for the award as well. I think Tom Brady's going to have a very good season as well. I do believe Aaron Rodgers will probably be in the conversation. Maybe you could throw in Drew Brees, but I will tell you why I believe Lamar Jackson is the best bet to win MVP this year, despite the fact that he won it last year. Okay, let me make my case, all right? I think Baltimore, once again, for the second straight season, is going to have the best record in the NFL. Baltimore this season, statistically, as of right now, has the easiest schedule in the NFL based on all the NFL teams' records from last season. So I get a team that has the same coaching staff returning, the same quarterback returning, virtually the same roster returning, not a whole lot of turnover in a very shortened offseason, a very weird offseason with a lot of Zoom meetings. This team is loaded, and I believe this team is about a 13-win football team. They're very talented, and they will have continuity, and I do believe they're going to win their division once again. Cincinnati, they're on the rise, but they're about a 5-win team in my opinion. I think Pittsburgh is good for around 7 to 9 wins, maybe 10 wins in Big Ben. You know, pops this year and, you know, bounces back. Cleveland's good for about 8 to 9 wins, maybe 10 wins if Baker pops this year. But yeah, I think Baltimore is their division to lose in my opinion. I have Baltimore going 13-3, easy schedule, very loaded roster, winnable division. And listen, man, the Ravens really only had one weakness this offseason, and they addressed that weakness. That weakness was the interior of their defense and the middle of their defense at middle linebacker, mainly middle linebacker. What did they do? They went out and drafted Patrick Queen in the first round and Malik Harrison as well later in the 2020 NFL draft to improve that run defense because Derrick Henry in the playoffs, he absolutely ran over that Ravens defense. Now you got 2 very good athletic linebackers in Malik Harrison and Patrick Queen who are definitely going to shore up that run defense. You also added Calais Campbell to the interior of that defensive line. He's a monster. He's still very good despite his older age, okay? Derek Wolfe was a very good addition to the team as well. So this defense, in my opinion, is the best defense in the entire NFL. They're going to win a lot of football games. They have the best secondary maybe in the entire NFL as well. I'm not too worried about Earl Thomas, you know, leaving the team just because Earl Thomas, his play has declined over the past couple of years. And honestly, if the Ravens felt that Earl Thomas was going to help them this year, they would not have released Earl Thomas. So I trust the Ravens coaching staff on that decision. I trust the Ravens coaching staff to reload that position, and it's next man up. They have a good young safety that was waiting to play behind Earl Thomas as well. So listen, very good defense, solid offensive line, a lead head coach in John Harbaugh. This team has it all. And on offense, Lamar Jackson has a couple more extra toys to work with. Not only does he have Mark Ingram to hand the football off to in the backfield, along with Gus Edwards, along with Justice Hill, the Baltimore Ravens went out and drafted J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State, a guy that had 2,000 total yards last season and 23 total touchdowns. He's a guy that can catch passes out of the backfield. He's a guy that's a very good runner of the football as well. And you still got Marquise Hollywood-Brown. You still got Mark Andrews. You still got Nick Boyle at tight end. Those are 2 very good tight ends. Mark Andrews is a top 5 tight end in the NFL at the moment. and Devin Duvenary gets added to this team from the 2020 NFL Draft. Devin Duvenary was a third-round pick that the Ravens selected. He's 5'10", but he weighs 200 pounds. He's very hard to bring down. He's excellent in the open space. He's great at creating yards after the catch. He's an excellent deep threat. That's another weapon that Lamar Jackson would love throwing to. Not to mention they drafted James Prochet out of SMU. Another solid wide receiver. So Lamar Jackson has legit weapons, man. And listen, we're talking about a quarterback in Lamar Jackson that is still only 23 years old, but last year, he just won the unanimous NFL MVP. And anyone, and I mean anyone, that thought Lamar Jackson was not the MVP last year, they should be slapped and they should be drug tested because that guy played unbelievable. He had one of the 5 to 7 greatest seasons by a quarterback in NFL history, in my opinion. He just led the NFL in touchdown passes last year. He only threw 6 interceptions last year. He had a 66% completion percentage last year. Lamar Jackson, for his career, is 19-3 as a starter. Last season, Lamar Jackson just broke the all-time single-season rushing record for a quarterback. You know, he had more rushing yards last year than Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, and Dalvin Cook. And the scary part is, Lamar Jackson could get better. Not only is his defense improved, not only is his offensive line still very solid, not only is his running back core improved, not only did the Ravens get him more weapons through the draft, Lamar Jackson has the chance to get better because he's going to have more experience this season. People can say, well, people now have film on Lamar Jackson. And they act like Lamar Jackson doesn't have film on these defenses as well. You realize Lamar Jackson can go back in the offseason and watch the same film these defensive coordinators watch. You do realize how hard it is to stop Lamar Jackson. It's going to take the NFL a bare minimum, and I mean the absolute bare minimum, about 5 years to slow down Lamar Jackson. I believe Lamar Jackson is going to dominate for the next decade or two. Maybe not next decade or two, but at least the next 10 years, Lamar Jackson will be a dominant quarterback that's atop the league, okay? Because he's very accurate. He's a very good decision maker. He's got a fairly strong arm. And Lamar Jackson's a very hard worker. Lamar Jackson, from where he was his final year at Louisville in college to where he is now, it's light and day, man. Lamar Jackson seems to get better and better every single game that he plays in, man. He's a hard worker. And by the way, in Lamar Jackson's last 8 games of the regular season in 2019, when teams continued to get more and more film on Lamar Jackson, so this was not early in the season. This was late in the season when teams continued to have more and more film on Lamar Jackson. Last year, in the final 8 games of the season, in the regular season, Lamar Jackson threw 25 touchdowns to 1 interception. I think Baltimore is loaded. I think Lamar Jackson is ticked off, and he has a chip on his shoulder after what happened in the playoffs. I believe Lamar Jackson's motivated. I believe Baltimore is loaded. I have Baltimore having the best record in the NFL this season. I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning about 12 games. I have Tampa winning about 12 games this year. But outside of those teams, I don't see many other teams getting to about 12 or 13 wins. And I believe Baltimore is good for 13 wins this year. And listen, if Lamar Jackson puts up numbers very similar to how he put up numbers last year, and he still has the best record in all of football, it is going to be very hard to deny Lamar Jackson a second straight MVP award. And I do believe the voters will give in and they'll say, hey man, Lamar, he's just that good. This is not a fluke. We're going to have to give this guy the MVP, and he will probably most likely deserve the MVP if he has the best record in all of football, and if he plays the way I know that he can play, if he continues to improve upon his game and get better and better, like I know Lamar Jackson probably will, as he's one of the hardest workers in the NFL at the quarterback position. So, once again, I believe that Lamar Jackson is going to repeat as the NFL MVP in 2020, and Baltimore, they might be in store for a special season in 2020 as well. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.